Just want to take a minute to say welcome back to the channel. Thank you all for supporting the channel, and I am not a financial advisor. Anything I say cannot be used against me and should not be used for trading purposes. Welcome back to the channel, guys. And today we're talking about Vechain, but before I jump into the Vechain charts, I just wanted to talk a little bit about just do a little pop in here on Bitcoin. So Bitcoin the price is currently at $35,900. We hit a little bit of resistance at the 37,000 mark, and yeah, we're just kind of trading sideways at the moment. Other altcoins like Cardano have had a little run up, experiencing a little resistance here at around $1.70. So yeah, I think, the Cardano charts are probably going to range sideways for a little while, and we could probably expect something similar from the Vechain charts. So a lot of this is dependent on, our coupling with Bitcoin, obviously, but Vechain is inside of this little symmetrical triangle. I put this little line here because this 13-cent line, became resistance. We were able to turn it into an RS flip. Came up, we tested it back on April 24th, and then on May 17th, we broke through during the Bitcoin crash, and then we've been making our way back up, and now we're consolidating inside of this little symmetrical triangle. So we're getting some of the bears and bulls are going back and forth and squeezing, the pressure is squeezing it into a little point before we see a breakout. So the breakout can be either downward or upward. Downward targets for Vechain are in and around the 5 to 6 cent mark. If we go below 5 or 6 cents, there could be further downside. I don't foresee that happening. We saw with the Bitcoin crash, we went down to around 4 cents, and it was quickly bought up. So I do foresee that the bulls will be picking up more Vechain if it does break low. If it breaks high, we probably hopefully turn this 13-cent mark, this 13 price point into support. And then, we'll probably see a little resistance at the 19-cent mark, and we may range in here for a day or two before continuation. And as you can see, we've been traveling in this channel here for quite some time. So we entered the channel back in November 5th of last year, right as the bull market was heating up. And since then, we've been traveling inside of this range up until this recent Bitcoin crash, which pulled us down out of that channel. So hopefully we can make our way back to this channel sometime in June or July, and get up into the 50 cent to 70 cent, maybe even up into the dollar range by the end of the summer. So I do think we're going to break $1 before we get into winter. So Vechain has got a number of great projects. So for those of you who might be getting discouraged because we're not seeing all-time highs right now, I just wanted to make a quick video to remind you that Vechain has some great projects in store. Salesforce Director of Strategy and Architecture successfully tested enterprise adoption ideas on the Vechain Thor platform. So, hopefully we're going to see some positive news come out of this new relationship with Salesforce. And then we've got, I just wanted, some Vechain is still working with DNV Global, and who has been promoting a lot of Vechain's partnerships have come through their initial relationships with PwC and DNV, who are well connected amongst the enterprise community. So DNV and PwC were early financial supporters of Vechain in those early development days, and have continued to work strategically with them, and have which has led to a number of positive relationships, such as Walmart China, BMW, H&M, clothing, the wine industry, the fish industry. The list goes on and on. So you can check the Vechain website, vechain.com and vechain.org, to look at what's happening in the ENFT space. So I just want to remind you guys that Vechain is a strong project, has strong fundamentals, and I think we're going to continue to be strong as time goes on. The 1 million, they've recently launched a $1 million grant on. They're offering a $1 million grant in their platform, for the development on the ENFT space for developers. And so these new enterprise NFTs can be used for medical records. And they, just imagine, instead of faxing medical records, you can store medical records on these ENFTs, which can be accessible anywhere in the world, under high security. It just makes a lot of sense. So, I think we're going to see Vechain toolchain really become a pioneer and a leader in the enterprise space. So, so Vechain partnering with hospitals, Salesforce, and this is the Vechain financial report for Q1 of 2021. And so we take a look at some of the tokenomics here. We've got total circulating supply of around 65 billion. That represents about 75, almost 76% of the maximum circulating supply. We've got 21% of the circulating supply is currently locked in soft lockup. And that includes authority masternodes, in which 2.5 billion coins are locked up in authority masternodes. We've got about 9 billion coins locked up in X nodes, and we've got about 4.3 billion locked up in economic nodes, and then we've got around 2 billion locked up in their team lockup. So total circulating supply minus what's in soft lockup represents around 47 billion coins, which represents about 55% of the total circulating supply. So we can look at what Vechain has been spending their proceeds on from their coins. So right now, 75%, almost 74% of their expenditure has been on research and development, and 9% on business development, 3% on compliance and legal, and then just about 14% on ecosystem development. So that is a good sign. A lot of their money is being spent on further, development of their business platform and their tool chain. So, Vechain has been just really hyper focused on development, and so Vechain received the world's first 5-star rated blockchain service certificate issued by TÜV Saarland. Back, so I think I pulled the article up for this too, right here. So Vechain becomes, this certification is recognized by national governments. So people are doing their homework on Vechain, and I think that Vechain is definitely just becoming one of the major leaders here in the space. And with the release of their new enterprise NFTs, these ENFTs, they're really focused on mass adoption, right? I mean, so this is what they say is needed to bring in ENFTs, the ENFT ecosystem to life. The object linked to an NFT has to be sufficient value such that the value generated from the value chain is well above the cost occurred. The ownership represented by an NFT has to be enforceable. The NFT technology itself only does the job of mapping ownership onto some digital assets created on the blockchain. By the open nature of blockchain, anyone who can afford the cost of using blockchain will be able to create NFTs for claiming certain ownership. NFT trading has to be fully facilitated. As a lot of value of NFTs generated from trading, we need to make sure that the underlying blockchain provides sufficient security, scalability, affordability, and accessibility to the community. So ENFT will lead the charge for NFT mass adoption. Enterprises are far more likely to bring quality NFTs into the ecosystem. Enterprises are natural ownership enforcers, meaning that they will bring with them the capital needed to secure the network. And enterprises bring new users to the ecosystem. So for every enterprise that comes on board, so for instance, DNV and PwC brought a lot of the people that they work with, BMW, Walmart, China, Bear, pharmaceuticals, the wine industry, the fish industry, agriculture. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. The relationships that have come out from those early relationships that Sonny Liu had made when he moved from Louis Vuitton over to Vechain, when he launched Vechain. So Sonny definitely knows what he's doing as a CEO. I really respect the guy. I respect the project. I respect the team. And I think that, VeChain is definitely going places. So, the VeChain Foundation reps from the blockchain platform. So recently China has visited VeChain. I talked about this in my last video, BMW, just, I think just amazing partnerships here. Chinese government officials meet with VeChain, praise its technology. So just wanted to remind you guys that, we are, there's nothing to be afraid of. Nothing to be afraid of. There is no way I'm going to let myself be shaken out in this market. I know the whales are trying to shake everybody out and dump everybody's pockets. But, I trust me, I know not everybody's situation is the same. Some people may have bought in here, but if you just stay, and this is not financial advice. I'm just some dude on the internet. I don't know anything, but I know for the people that bought in up here, you're probably wondering, like, what the heck, when am I going to get an opportunity to get rid of these bags so I can get my money back? For those of us who bought down here, back here, at 1 cent, 2 cent, half a cent, we can be a little more patient. But yeah, I mean, I just want to remind you guys of the project that we're invested in here, and this is a solid project. I mean, we're going places. VeChain is going places, and I think it won't be long before we see VeChain and Cardano at the same, right next to each other, on CoinMarketCap. So hang in there, and if we see a dip from this symmetrical triangle, I would just say, see if you can pick up some more. Have a great day.